What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Hey. Happy Tuesday to you. We are lighting the candle. We are going to getting ready to get into some things. We are going to be talking about Carlee Russell. Now, I know some of y'all might be tired of the story. You may not want to discuss it, and that's fine. We are it's Tiki Beach. The candle of the day is Tiki Beach. Okay. Now, Carlee Russell's parents spoke, so we're going to listen to a little bit of what the parents had to say. I'm not, I'm going to drop the link so you guys can sound off if you want to come up here and you want to give your opinion about what you feel is going on and how you feel about the situation. We all have opinions. So let me say hi to the people before we get into the things. We already have 59 people in the chat. Thank you so much. Hope you guys come in, hit that like button, and come on and take a seat. What's up, Rock Chick? Hey, Lemon Kush. Hey, Layla, Danny. Hey, Mia. What's going on, Cool Gamer? Hey, Lovely 31. Hey, Blondie. What's up, Tracy? Hey, Nay. Yana. Hey, Nicole. Caribbean Gal. Yes. Hey, Phil. What's up, boo? Kenya. What's going on? Hey, P. Amber. Nico. Dark Liquor Cam. What's up, Official D Spot? Mwah. I see you back on these streets, honey. I be in the bushes. Hey, Karay. What's up, Miss Baythang? Khadijah Jones. Hey, Tracy. Okay, so anybody else coming in? Hey to you all. Let's get into some things. Now, listen, let me say this to you guys. I'm going to give y'all my opinion. And what's up, Cookie? I have all of the feelings about this case. Oh, Lord, Tracy, I know you're going to come up here as soon as I drop the link. Hey, Cams, what's up, boo? So I'm going to drop the link. Y'all know I don't drop the link regularly, but I'm going to drop the link so you guys can come up and give your opinion. And, we don't have, y'all know how we do over here. You ain't got to agree with me. We're just going to disagree. We can disagree respectfully. Okay. So in case you've been living under a rock for the last week, Carlee Russell was a nursing student in Alabama who said she saw a baby on the side of the road, pulled over. I believe she was on the phone with her aunt, and that was the last anybody saw of her until she showed up at her parents' house Saturday night. Now, I'm not getting into all the weeds and all the details because I think at this point, there's some things we know are fact, right? There are some things that we know are fact that happened. But I think just like with a lot of cases like this, everybody knows somebody that said something. Everybody knows somebody that lived there. Everybody knows somebody on the police force. Everybody know a cousin, uncle, sister. So a lot of stuff I think people are repeating, and it hasn't been verified. Certain things just have not been verified. And I've heard a lot of, hey, Keisha, it's kind of like, I told you guys the other day, it's kind of like with Shanquella Robinson. So many things were said that we found out later that just didn't happen. That's just not what happened. So I want us to be careful, right? I want us to be careful about forming an opinion based on a lot of I heard type stuff, right? A lot of people are making videos, myself included. That is what we do down here. And there's a lot of opinion. And listen, everybody has an opinion. And like I told y'all the other day, I reserve the right to change my opinion when I get more information. I reserve the right to do that. Because when you get more information, you're supposed to reevaluate how you feel about something because you may not have had all of the facts. You understand what I'm saying? So, child, y'all know how, listen, if y'all new to the channel, y'all don't know how I feel about Jesse. Now, y'all keep putting Jesse in the chat, but Jesse innocent. So, just understand that I don't think Jesse Smollett is guilty. So, you can see, and I know nobody in the world is with me, but that's just how I feel. That's my 2 cents. Okay. Let me not say innocent. I don't think Jesse Smollett is innocent. I just don't think it went down the way people think it went down. But child, we ain't about to have a Jesse Smollett conversation. Vovo, you know how I feel about Jesse. Don't do that. Now, the people that's new here, the people that's new here may not know that, but Bobo, you already know that. You already know how I feel about the whole Jesse story. To make a short story short, I believe Jesse was involved in a relationship with that boy, and I believe that the two brothers cooked it up. I don't think that Jesse cooked it up, but neither here nor there. But I do believe, and it came out in the trial, that he was involved in a relationship with the boy and that they did drugs together. And I said that from the beginning. I said, even before it came out, I said he was messing with one of them. I said that they are from Africa. I forget what country. And y'all know homosexuality is like the death penalty in some African countries, like legit the death penalty. And I just think it was more to it again, but that's a whole nother conversation. I ain't going down that road, child. It's over. He done went to court. He done found guilty. He got out of jail. I don't know what's going on with Jesse. He over here making movies. Leave Jesse alone. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to give y'all my opinion on, well, first let's listen to what the parents had to say. And then I'm going to give y'all my opinion, and then I'm going to drop the link, okay? Shout out to the people in the room. Please hit that like button. Come on in, take a seat. Donations are not required, but they are accepted. Okay, so let's get into the things. All right. Ooh, Lord, AT&T, let me pay them. I'll pay them when I get off of here, child, because, All right. Now, I was looking for, y'all know I don't like playing videos because y'all know I don't want, y'all know some people be playing games and I just don't, I don't like playing that game. All right, so Carlee Russell's parents were on the Today Show today. So I'm gonna just let y'all listen to it because y'all know I really don't like playing videos because I don't want no problems. So we're gonna listen to it and then we'll talk about it. Okay.
Describing that moment you all first laid eyes on her again. What was it like?
To me, I mean, just so much joy.
This morning, in an exclusive sit-down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell are speaking out, describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 48 hours. What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But
last Thursday, police say Carlee.
So let me say this. So the mother said that from the beginning, when Carlee showed up, there must have been something physically going on that they could visibly see, because she said that she wasn't even able to walk up and hug her daughter because she needed immediate medical attention. Now, my question is, was it already people at the house? Was the ambulance people already? I'm not being funny. I'm asking questions because your daughter walks up. She's been missing, all of this hoopla, and you said that you went to go embrace her, but she was immediately whisked away by medical people. So was the medical people camped out at your house? Am I misunderstanding what she said? Y'all put it, I know y'all put it in the chat. Y'all tell me.
911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with.
I understand that you said they called 911, but that's what I'm saying. So then who stopped you from hugging her? Like, did she have a broken arm? I mean, I'm not being funny. I'm trying to understand. If my child shows up at the door, I understand that she might need medical attention, but why didn't you give her a hug? What stopped you? If there wasn't a medical person physically in that moment to stop you, what stopped you? Y'all understand what I'm saying? And again, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really trying to understand that. Okay.
Family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle was unlocked, running. All her personal belongings you could check for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation. And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
NBC News has reached out to the Hoover Police Department to ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee. And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, we can't discuss the details of that.
But they say one thing is clear. Do you believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
Yeah, she did make it back. All right, Priscilla, so
Okay, so that let me say this. See now, Carlee, you know I love you, girl, but this is what I'm saying. We just can't make people happy. Now, people was complaining when the parents said, "Give us time, we'll speak later," and now they complaining because the parents spoke, but you can't say nothing. Now, here's the reality of the situation. Whether you believe it was a kidnapping or not, and everybody has a right to their opinion, it is still an ongoing criminal investigation. There are things that they cannot say. And when they tried to tell y'all that on Sunday, when they said, "Give us some time, we'll speak at a later date," everybody got mad at them. So now the parents came down here to give y'all as much as they could give y'all, and now you're mad because you said they ain't saying nothing. Well, what you want? It is an ongoing, right, and that's fine that you don't believe it's a kidnapping, but the police have to move as if this is a criminal investigation until they can totally eliminate it. So yes, they have the 911 call. No, they're not going to release it right now because it is part of a criminal investigation. Somebody said ring cameras. They probably are going to go through that neighborhood and check every ring camera. They absolutely are going to do that. If people have Ring or Vivian or whatever you have on your house, just like they did. Remember they did that with the Meg Thee Stallion case. Remember they came back and they had they found a witness. That is part of an investigation, right? So because people don't believe it's real, I get that. That's fine. But the police still have to go through their process until they say, "Hey, there's absolutely no proof that this happened. We saw the girl do this. We saw a person drop her off in a white Chevy Camaro with license plate, blah, blah, blah. It's on the Ring camera. It was all a hoax." They have to go through the process. And while they're going through the process, no, they're not going to give all that information to the public. They never do. They never do. And I just feel like sometimes I feel like people get caught up in what they believe and they just throw everything else out the door. Like, you know that the police have to follow a certain process. Whether you believe it's true or not, it doesn't matter. They have to follow a certain procedure. And once they do that, then I was listening to something today and they were like, "Yeah, somebody said that they saw her checking into the Red Roof Inn." Well, if there is footage of this young lady checking into a hotel, first of all, with what credit card? There is no hotel that you can legally, well, not a hotel, maybe a motel, maybe a rent by the hour. And even the Red Roof Inn, I know it ain't, it ain't the Ritz-Carlton, but you need a credit card. So if she was checking into a hotel room, they got footage. Now, maybe the police can't release it yet. Maybe the police can't say it yet. But if the girl was staying at the Red Roof Inn for the last 3 days or 2 days or whatever, they have footage of her walking her happy, Watusiing her ass up in that lobby. Like, they're gonna find out. You know what I mean? But we can't make the police do what we want them to do. You know what I'm saying? So you just listen to the dispatch video. The dispatch of what? What dispatch? Okay. If she was doing, say, 50 miles per hour and spotted a baby, she can't just throw on the brakes. She'd be far from the baby by the time she comes to a full stop. Suspect. Okay. Exactly, Tracy. Her purse and stuff was in the car, so I just want to know how she checked it to the hotel. Again, that's what I mean when I say it's a lot of information out there, and I don't know how valid any of it is. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna drop the link. And so let me say this before and again, I'm respectful of everybody's opinion. I don't agree with most, and that's fine. Y'all not gonna agree with me. I do think something happened to that girl. I do not think this is a hoax. I do not think she created the situation. I think one of two things happened. Either one, something really truly did happen to her. I believe that. And until I get information that show me differently, that's just what I believe. Or she had a mental break, and maybe the baby was maybe she was hallucinating when she saw the baby. Maybe she thought she saw the baby, and she had a mental break. That is what I think. That is my opinion. And I know that 90% of y'all don't agree with me, and that's fine. We can, again, we're just going to be respectful about it. But that's just what I believe. And until I get, like I said the other day, I reserve the right to change my opinion. When new information comes, if they show me footage of this girl being dropped off 2 blocks from her house and then pretending like she was abducted, then I'll change. I'm like, okay, well, there's the proof right there. If they show me footage of her Watusiing her ass up into the Red Roof Inn and get in a hotel room, then okay, but those are my two. That's just me right now. Okay. She lied about what? She lied about seeing a baby? I mean, that's your opinion. All right, let me drop this link. And again, you don't have to agree with me. Y'all know I'm not that sensitive. We ain't got to agree. But we're going to respectfully disagree. All right, we're going to respectfully disagree. Okay. There's the link. I'll pin it. Let me see. I can't pin it from here. No one has talked to her. She has made no public statements other than to the police. She gave the police her statement, according to the parents. She gave her police her statement. All right. Okay, turn off your you want to turn off your Diva Nicole, do you want to be on camera or you want to turn off your video video? You don't care? Okay. All right, no problem. All right. Unpopular opinion. Give me a second. We don't know what the parents told. See, that's what I'm saying. We don't know what the parents told the police. We know the police didn't release that information. Well, we don't know whether the parents told the police that she struggled with mental health. We don't know that. Hey, Tracy girl. Hey, Diva Nicole. Hey, unpopular opinion. Oh, is that my Phil?
Oh, Jesus.
Is that my
Yes,
Phil?
it's me, Phil.
You leave my Phil alone now.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey, Phil.
All right, I'm gonna start with Tracy and then Diva Nicole and then Phil. We're gonna go like that. Okay, go ahead.
I am up in the air about the situation. I don't feel one way or the other. I'm going to start by saying, can I just be happy that, an African-American woman got some good media attention and her face was everywhere like we've been asking for, like the clear people get? I'm just gonna start there because normally we don't get that type of attention. We don't get the type of media fuss. We don't get the social media pushes. Like we don't get that stuff. So I'm just gonna start by being thankful that, our faces are being pushed out there when something happens to one of us. It might not have been as good as the clear people, but it was better than we normally get. So I'm just thankful for that. Like let's just start there. Okay, let's be thankful for the one little bit of positive thing that came out of this. Now, I've driven on the highway, the expressway late at night, and I will be the first person to say that there are some times where I see something and I think it's something, but it's really not the thing that I thought it was. And I don't find that odd because I don't know anybody who hasn't driven at night and you seen something and was like, did you see, was that what I just seen? So that to me isn't odd, right? So some things aren't odd. Do I know that people who like to kidnap people will use ploys and decoys to, get to people? Yeah, I do. I understand that. Now, her randomly showing up at her parents' house, that seems interesting to me. But maybe there was some stuff we didn't know, how quickly the EMT people just magically showed up so the mama couldn't touch her. Seems interesting. Like there are things that don't make sense. And so I don't want to say that she's completely lying or making up the story. I think I would rather err on the side of there are holes in this story. And I don't know if the holes in the story are because she's lying or if the holes in the story are because they would like to catch the people who did this. So they're intentionally leaving holes in the story. I don't know. I don't know, personally. But again, like I said, I have no problem coming back and dragging her by that wig she left in the car. I have no problems. None.
I mean, I think that alone, what black woman leaving her wig voluntarily? What black woman taking her wig off and leaving it behind voluntarily? I'm just saying. Diva Nicole, what's up, babe? Oh, I'm sorry,
maybe
Tracy.
it was hot. Look, maybe it was hot, and so she took her wig off on the ride home.
Maybe, child.
I don't know.
Sometimes people do that too. You get in the car and you be like, woo. That could be a thing. All right, Diva Nicole, what's up, my love?
Okay, so I want to say, I think one thing that people have been leaving out in all of their speculation, there was actually a report I saw it on Facebook shared from like a one of their local newspapers or something in Birmingham that literally like the next day they saw two women saw what they thought was a toddler, and they were apprehensive because of what the whole Carlee situation, so they just called the police. It turned out it was a little person dressed as a kid, and then oddly someone got out of another car when the police arrived. Another person got out of another car when the police arrived. This happened in Birmingham, which is the same area. Hoover is like a suburb of Birmingham. So like it's not just coincidental that the very next day they're looking for another person to possibly abduct. Along all those coastal states, sex trafficking and trying to get people for organs is very real. I myself had an attempted kidnapping in 2015. And I was in a Greyhound bus station screaming. It's people around while this man is trying to drag me, and nobody fucking helped. Everybody sat there and watched.
And we've heard stories about that on the subway. And remember that girl that was sexually assaulted, and people literally sat there and watched while she was sexually assaulted. Like, and they were like, "Well, we didn't know it was real. We didn't." What do you mean? This woman was literally screaming. So yeah, those things do happen. Those things do. And I'm sorry to hear about your experience, and I'm glad you got away.
Thank you. But like, it's just crazy that people like. I think some of these things, like, because you're not getting the answers that you think you should be getting, people are creating scenarios in their head. We don't know what happened. We don't know whether she lied or she didn't lie. I see people in the comments talking about what evidence that we have that she did lie. What evidence do we really have that she didn't? Nothing but speculation that people have created over the internet. We have nothing from the actual police that points to the fact that she possibly lied. Just off the fact that nobody reported a toddler missing within those days doesn't mean that it wasn't somebody using a decoy that she could have saw. And y'all like, why didn't nobody else pull over? People see shit happen to people all the time, and they keep driving because they hope that somebody else do something about it. I know that shit happens from my time in the military and being in emergency management, taking dispatch calls. People would literally drive by some of the most horrific stuff and like look and just keep going because they think in their head somebody else saw it, somebody else gonna call, or they see somebody see this child walking and they be like, dang, that's crazy. Well, I ain't stopping. I ain't gonna let nothing happen to me.
Listen, let me tell you something. True story. This was years ago. I was probably in my 20s. I was coming home from a club, a party, whatever, driving through where I had to go home. I was coming through downtown DC. This lady is walking down the street. She's got a dress on. She's got on stockings with no shoes. The dress is unzipped. Like, you know, it's one of those dresses that zips in the front, in the back. The dress is unzipped in the back. She's walking, and she's walking like this. Like she's walking like she's cold, and she was walking like this. And when I tell you that everybody drove past that woman, only like 2 people stopped. Like by the time and it was like you said, by the time I saw it, I was past her. So I had to come back around because I was like, was that lady? And I mean, as I drove, I didn't see her dress was unzipped until I'm driving past her. And I was like, she ain't got no shoes on. By the time I drove around, a car had stopped to help her. So I kind of just sat there for a minute. I never did get out the car because I was like, okay, she's talking to the car. These people are trying to help her. And it was one other car that was sitting there. We were kind of just like, kind of waiting. And mind you, this was like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, I ain't getting out the car unless I feel like I got to get out the car because I don't know what's going on either. But literally, cars, nobody stopped. I don't know how long that woman was walking. So for people to be like, nobody else saw it, and I'm not saying that makes it true. I'm just saying people come up with all of these, well, nobody else saw it, nobody else said it. I'm sure that there were at least, I'm not going to exaggerate, but there had to be, let's say 100 people probably passed that woman. And nobody stopped to help her. I don't know if that woman it was an attempted assault. I don't know what happened. But I know she's barefoot. She don't have a purse. She don't have nothing. And her dress is unzipped in the middle of the night in downtown DC. You know what I'm saying? So things happen in busy areas and people don't do shit. It happens all the time. And I just think that people look for a perfect story. People look for a perfect beginning, middle, and an end. And it's not always a perfect beginning, middle, and an end. I'm not saying that automatically means this girl is telling the truth. I don't understand why so many people have just jumped to the totally opposite. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean,
like, this is real life. Like, y'all see stuff happen in the movies where, like, oh, they found the person. They found the missing person, and they instantly found who kidnapped them and all of that. And everything gets wrapped up in this nice little bow at the end. And that ain't how real life works. I mean, they could have been out. Let's say she was abducted, because we don't know whether she was or she wasn't. It could have easily been a thing where she was paying attention, noticed that they left wherever they were holding her captive at, and she's like, if I don't get the fuck out right now, I'm never going to have a chance. And she took off. And her being native to that area, she probably recognized, like, you know what? I know how to get back to my mama house.
Yeah. Phil, thank you for your patience. What you got to say, boo?
I agree with everything everyone said. I think. Hold on, hold on now. Don't
wait a minute. Write this down. Phil is agreeing with me. Write it down.
History books.
Hold on. I think 2 things can be true at the same time. I think that something definitely has happened with this young woman, but I also believe that people have the right to have doubts. It's just the way we express those doubts. It's the way that we express those questions. I mean, have I made statements? Yes. I talked to my friend last night and I said, one of my big thing is she walked to her parents' house. I was thinking, why wouldn't she walk to a business, or was it a emergency service person on her way home and stuff like that? So, it's okay to have doubts. I just don't think we should outright call this girl a liar because we don't really know what happened. I do agree with Diva Nicole when she says that people won't do anything. I was in a situation last year where I was out of town. I was in Dallas and there was a car crash with people inside on it, and I stopped along with another young lady, and we didn't know these people, and it was two people, and it was a bad crash, and we had to call EMTs, and people just kept on driving. Nobody stopped or anything. So I think we definitely can question, but I think it's a respect thing that we need to be doing, especially amongst us, because this is another sister. Now, and we also can't act like people don't do things for clout. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in today, especially with social media. But we still should wait. Now, with the parents speaking, I don't think they should have made a statement until the police made a statement. I know we want answers.
But the problem was when they said that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But the problem was when they said, "Hey, we're gonna wait. We've got a lot to process. We've got a lot. We haven't slept in 3 days. We'll give you guys a statement later." People was mad about that. They owe us a statement. How dare they? They had us out here looking for their daughter. They had us posted on social media. Let's be clear. Most of us only retweeted some shit. Most of us only reposted. Like, we ain't do no work. We wasn't in no woods. But people was like, nah, they owe us that. They had us out here looking for their daughter. You wasn't looking for nothing.
So I think that goes back to something I kind of hinted on before, is like, we're doing too much on social media. First of all, parents, y'all don't owe these people nothing. Y'all focus should be on y'all daughter and not on the naysayers and the people out in the streets. Don't even focus on them. The mother and father believe something happened to their daughter. Focus on the daughter. Before I let y'all go, because I got to get to work because I'm on this clock listening to YouTube, I just think that I feel two things can be true at the same time. We can have doubts, but we can also wait. We can also wait and listen and just have our doubts and just wait for the answers, instead of just being not completely negative, but heavily negative. Like, keep it to a field type of negative. I'm just a little negative. I ain't always on the team, but I'm always supportive. And one last thing. If she did have a mental health breakdown, normally what happens when people have a mental health break, something triggers that break. So that's another thing that we should be looking for. What happened to her to trigger her break? Like, you can have mental health issues, but when you have a complete mental health break, something triggers that to happen. Something like a dramatic, like a death or some type of trauma will trigger you to have that break. But I'm going to be in the comments listening. Hey, y'all, but yes, really, BC, I was behaved this time. I told y'all.
Good, Phil. You did good.
It's just sometimes. All right. Love y'all. Love you, Tracy. Love you, Nicole. Y'all take care.
All right. Thank you, boo. I'm going to say this.
Can I ask a question?
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me just say this real quick. The link is pinned. I'm gonna be here a little bit longer. Maybe about another. I said I would do an hour. It's been 36 minutes, so I'll be here for an hour. Tracy just dropped the link again. If anybody wants to come up, I see where people are questioning the fact that there has been no sketch release. That's a valid question. That's a valid thought. Was something else I wanted to bring up that people said. That is a valid question. Why has there been no sketch? Why have we heard nothing? Go ahead, Tracy.
Are y'all gonna have this same smoking fever for Jamie Foxx? Because y'all was praying for him for months.
Well, Jamie Foxx said that he having a party. I saw that today. They said Jamie is having a party to celebrate him being better. He is having a party up in Chicago at the rehab center to celebrate. So Jamie said, I don't know. That's what Jamie said.
Look,
I would like to get an invite to the party, but
I'm just saying, I feel like a lot of people prayed for Jamie, and he ain't told y'all not damn bit of what happened, and he ain't came down here to tell y'all a dang old thing.
Okay. Oh, here come
So
my
can
boo
we get
Karay.
another smoke for Jamie? No, probably not.
You
Okay.
know they don't have no child. Well, they said Jamie is a whole clone. They said that ain't even Jamie. So Hey, Karay. Hey, boo.
Hey, I wanted to come on since everybody up there kind of had the same opinion. So you know what? Since my opinion is a little different, let me go ahead and call in.
Well, I wanted y'all to. I wanted people who felt differently to come in. So thanks for coming
Yes.
up.
Yeah, so that's why I decided to call in. This is my feeling. Of course, I don't believe nothing happened. Let me just say this. Let me just say this. This girl got the whole country looking for her. I mean, this was all over IG, YouTube, local news, national news. She got the attention that we've been desperately wanting to get when one of us go missing. I give her that. And that's why when this comes to a conclusion at the end and we find out what really happened, it's going to backfire on us big time. This is how I feel. I can't remember what day she was gone, went missing, but I know she was gone for only 2 days. We seen the video of her car supposedly on side the road. That road was extremely busy. I mean, it was nighttime, but it was traffic flowing. Right. Why no one else seen a baby on the street? That was my first instinct. Like, why no one else seen that?
Right.
Why there was no other 911 calls with a kid on the street? And I think another thing that kind of she called 911 and a relative to report seeing the baby on the street. I think the wig you could kind of come up with, well, maybe she had another wig, maybe she had an extra wig in the car and she had another wig on her head. That was one thought I had too. Maybe that was the thing.
True. Valid.
And I think another thing that kind of was suspicious about this case is her boyfriend put out a statement. Boyfriend put out a
boyfriend. I am side-eyeing that boyfriend. Now, I will say that. I am side-eyeing the boyfriend, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was another thing that kind of got me. Why did he have to come out and let everybody know, hey, it wasn't me, I wasn't involved? So that was kind of, I don't remember his full details, but I remember seeing on one of the blogs where he put out a statement.
Right, he did.
Okay, and I think when we got the word, I think it was Sunday night, that she shows back up at her parents' house. She just happened to show up at the house. I think one of the people in the chat made a good point. One of the people in the chat was saying, if she was kidnapped and she got away from her kidnappers, why didn't she stop at the first place she seen? Why did she have to go all the way home? Like you break away, you're gonna go to the next house the first house you see, the first place you see with a light on, the 7-Eleven, wherever you at, you're gonna stop at the very first place and say, call 911, I was kidnapped, I just got away with my kidnappers. None of that has happened. Mm-hmm. She just happened to show up at home. Mm-hmm. And the way it was all presented to us is she showed up at home. Say she showed up at home. That was the statement that was put out. There was no other additional details when this first came out Sunday night. She showed up at home, okay? So then it got out to be where the cops put out a very generic, basic little thing saying that she showed up at home. They put like basically a timeline of events. But once they got to the point of her being kidnapped at the alleged time, there's nothing. There's no details. There's no description of a suspect, no car, no on the lookout. There's nothing. It's like she was kidnapped. She went missing for 2 days and she'll back up at home. We don't know what happened to her, where she was, who she was with. But I just feel like, and everybody keeps talking about she was a nursing student, she was under stress. I'm not buying that. We all got our own stress we living with in life. And I don't think you're going to fake all of this just because you're in nursing school. I've been seeing that a lot on the blogs. Mm-hmm. I just don't believe that. I don't know what happened to her or where she was, but I just don't believe she was properly trafficked or anything like that. I just don't believe it. I think there's something going on. There was even some whispers on some blogs that she was stealing from her job. I don't know if that's true, if that was been substantiated, but I've been reading that she was stealing from her job. Mm-hmm. I just don't know. I feel like there's too many questions still out there to automatically assume or say she's been kidnapped. I just don't believe it. Until the cops come out and say, we're looking for this person in the Carlee Russell's case, I just don't believe it until they come out and say that. And the cops, and that's another thing that makes this case strange, and the silence of the police. The silence of the police makes me think, what's really going on here? Are they believing her story? Mm-hmm. Because I don't know, this is, most of the time stuff like this happens, Even if it's turned out to be a hoax, we get us a description of a suspect. We don't have that. All we have is her word and her parents saying she showed back up, and her mother saying she couldn't touch her. And from what I understand, they called 911 to let the cops know she's back. So the way I took that is the cops were not there when she showed up. They call 911, and automatically when the cops are called, the cops will call for an ambulance to come there. Or when an ambulance is called, the cops show up. So I don't know. I'm just not believing her story until I'm proven otherwise. I'm sticking to my guns on this.
And here's the thing. Let me say this. I understand the people who don't believe her story. I understand why people have questions. I'm being honest. I do understand why people have questions. I'm not saying that y'all just being crazy. No, I understand why people might. I see you, Jane. I'm gonna get you in a second. I do understand why people have questions. Just me personally, I just choose to believe until I get more information. And again, like I keep saying, I reserve the right to change my mind, but I just believe what happened. I know that the young lady, somebody else, that was the other thing I wanted to remember. Somebody else, people in the chat was saying that this will make it bad for the next person. Oh, James, you got to mute yourself, baby. You got it. Okay. I know that people say that that's going to make it worse on the next person when there's another young lady, especially a woman of color, and that's valid. That's a valid point as well. I somebody have to give me a motive. Like I need a reason, and I know I've heard these different speculations, but I need a motive. Like in the Jussie Smollett, they gave me a motive. Now, whether I liked it or not, or agree with it or not, they gave us a motive. They gave us a reason. Just because she wanted some attention, I need a reason. I just need a reason.
I kind of agree with that. I need a reason too. Right. I agree with you, really, B. Yeah. I agree. I need a reason. And then I think also, I'm also at the position, okay, if I come out to be wrong, I would say, damn, I was wrong. But as of right now, some things just not adding up. It's like, it's just a strange, it's almost like the Jamie Foxx thing. It's just like a strange situation here. Like, what really went on with this girl for 2 days? Where was she? Who was she with? It's just a strange case.
Well, we don't need a motive for kidnapping, Kenya. People kidnap all the time. We have trafficking. We have just people who are just sick in the mind, baby. I look at a lot of IDTV, child. There ain't no motive for kidnapping.
But was she really? But that's the thing. Was she really kidnapped though? Was she with someone she knew?
Right, and that's what I said. That's where our opinions differ. I believe she was kidnapped, and I'm gonna let Jane talk after I say this.
Okay, cool.
Even after. Even some of the questions people were like, well, why would she pass all those other houses to go home? If she was truly in a trauma state, and again, I understand that there's a valid reason to say why would she pass all of these houses, but if you are zoomed in and you are in a trauma state and you are zoomed in, you know what I'm saying? Like she was like, I just need to get home. I just need to get home. I just need to get home. I don't know, and I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying I can understand it. Jane, go ahead, boo.
I'm of two minds about this because that on Indian reservation and in Mexico, situations that mirror this situation have been reported, where there was some type of decoy or something like that, and women have gone missing in those areas. I think that it's a bigger problem than we know or acknowledge in America because it happens in pockets. I think that my other thought was that we have been discussing over the weeks how we have a border problem, and they've been talking about cartels and stuff like that. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility. But I do have questions. And my biggest question is this. This is the part that really bothers me. The most reliable report I heard said that it was 5 minutes between the time she was on phone with the police and that they arrived where her car was located. They said it was 5 minutes. I don't know if that's factual. But I'm thinking, in either scenario, one, where does she go? Because I know that if you try to run through the woods at night, even woods that you're familiar with, it's easy to get lost. You are very noisy. She would have to be going in a mad dash. I don't see anywhere where she could have done that. By the same token, if she was in the middle of a scuffle or something, I don't know how the police didn't see anything except the stuff at the car, unless that had their attention, and they didn't start to look around for her until enough time had lapsed. I don't have those facts, but those are questions I have, because all of the other things that I've heard reported can either not be true or can be explained. But what disturbs me most is people are so quick to say, I knew this was nothing to be concerned about. Whether it is her mental health, whether she was kidnapped, whether it was fraud, this is something to pay attention to. I'm not going to say what my opinion is. I've told family, I've told friends what I think, but I'm not going to publicly come out and give an opinion, because the next time this happens, the next time something happens, I want us to take it seriously, regardless of the complexion, race, or economic status of the woman. I know we can't do it every single time, but I think there should be a lot more fairness meted out in these situations.
Mhm. Mind your business. Welcome to the platform. What's your opinion?
Well, I don't have an opinion about what happened with the girl, but I do have a situation where I seen a baby on a busy street near two ponds of water one time when I was driving. It was in broad daylight, and I turned around to stop, and people were going by and nobody stopped. By the time I came back, the baby was gone. I don't know what happened with the baby to this day, but I didn't see nobody get out their car to get the baby. It was like a little grassy area, and it was like a pond between two apartments that's probably like a mile long, and everybody was just driving past. Nobody stopped and pulled over. I was on the opposite side of the street from the baby, and I went up to the next entrance to the next apartment complex to come around to get the baby. But when I came back, I had the police on the phone. The baby was gone, and to this day, I don't know what happened to that baby. I don't know if it was a similar situation to where with this girl, but it always bothered me that I didn't see nobody get the baby. I didn't see nobody pull over and pick up the baby, but the baby was gone by the time I turned around. And I was talking to my sister about it, this same situation, because I was coming from her apartment, and she said the same thing happened to her by the same apartment complex. She said by the time she came around to get the baby was gone. And I'm like, were these people using that baby to get people to pull over and was doing things to them? Because people do use children because they know most people are going to stop. But in this area, nobody was really stopping. Like, they kept on going. I was the one who turned around, but when I turned around, the baby was gone. So I don't know, like, why the baby was gone and what happened to this baby to this day.
Mama Mina, I know that you clearly think that this young lady is lying. You've been very clear about that. You said y'all keep comparing y'all situations instead of taking your emotions out and look at the facts. Well, I could say the same thing to you. I think that there's some facts that you're choosing to overlook because you have decided that this young lady is lying. The facts that we may not know the facts about her seeing or not seeing a baby, but the fact is we know she pulled over. We know that her car was left running and all of her things were in the car. We know that She was on the phone with her aunt. Now some people might say she might have been setting up the alibi, but she was on the phone with her aunt or her sister or whomever, and she told them the same thing. We know that she showed up at her parents' house. Now, what we don't know is anything more than that. Everything else that's been put out there, we did not come from the police, and it did not come from her parents. Nothing else has, you know what I'm saying? I go by what the police have said, what her parents have said. The police ain't said nothing. So we don't have facts. We have a lot of people who have put information out, and we don't know where that information has come from. Even in this 50 minutes that we've been on this live, we done heard maybe it was a little person. We done heard maybe she was embezzling from her job. We done heard maybe she was trying to make her boyfriend jealous. We have heard a lot of things that we don't know are facts. We read them somewhere. We heard it somewhere. Facebook said it. Instagram said it. It ain't come from the police. I'm sorry. Who has that? I'm gonna mute you. Mind your business. I think that's your noise, background noise. So we don't have any of those facts. Y'all are going by a lot of what you're hearing, and that's what I'm saying. It's dangerous. Oh, wait a minute, that's not her. It's dangerous when we start going by what the internet says, because the internet ain't always right. And that's all I'm saying. So that's all I'm saying.
All right, so let me say this for the people in the chat. My statement about Jamie was not that Jamie had to tell us his personal medical business. The sentiment is the same of saying something happened and we are immediately screaming, you need to tell us what happened. We need answers. And it may not be you guys in the chat. It's social media at large is saying, well, we did this. You need to tell us what happened. Like the girl came home and immediately they was like, you need to tell us what happened. And it's like, if we give Jamie the grace to say, give him time to tell us when he's ready. I mean, why is it different to say, give this person time to tell us when it's ready? With her, at least she has like a police case. Like there's, a open police investigation. Jamie just has his own personal stuff going on. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm comparing the two, because I understand that they're nothing alike. My statement was the immediate outright, the immediate feeling of you need to tell us what happened because we were worried about you isn't always right. Sometimes you give people time to tell you whenever. And at least with hers, it's a court case. So I have like a couple of things based off of the stuff that kind of we've learned so far in this conversation, right? So I do feel like, because this is a very heightened situation and it just kind of happened and there is so much speculation, it could go one or two ways, right? No one's saying anyone's right or anyone's wrong. Both of those are completely open for interpretation, kind of based off of what happens, right? Because we don't know. My feeling is always going to be, I appreciate a Black woman getting the level of spotlight that clear people get. And I hope that this is true, because I don't want this to turn into, this is why we don't give y'all the spotlight, because things like this happen, right? It's always that feeling of, man, please let this be right, so that, we're justified in asking for the things that we keep asking for. And it will be so heart-wrenching if it's not. But neither way, I don't want to see anything bad happen to anybody, regardless of whether she was having a mental issue or someone did try and take her. I'm just saying that, unfortunately, in the world we live in, there are tons of sick people who will take people all the time. And our problem is bigger than just this one African American woman. It's, y'all got people taking people all the time, and we can't tell if it's real or not, because people get taken all the time. Like, there are so many underlying or deeper issues going around, or that we have kind of going on. If it is a mental health issue, then there's another issue that we kind of like in our community. We're like, okay, let's get some help with that. But I think either way, they're not telling us, and I understand wanting evidence, but I would just be fine. Y'all ain't got to tell me nothing. Just give me the Red Roof videotape. Give me the ring camera footage.
Right, that's what I'm
And
saying. Like,
give me the videos.
if she was at the Red Roof Inn, just show, like, then I promise you they have already gone to that Red Roof Inn and pulled the video to see who checked in, who didn't check in. I promise you that they have gone door to door in that whole neighborhood to ask anybody if they saw anything, if there's any security footage, if they have a ring or any other type of security footage. Like, I promise y'all, all of that has been, or all of that is being done. Again, Mama Mina, you said you're not using your emotion, you're going with the obvious. That is subjective, because the obvious to you ain't the obvious to us. That's subjective, or to me. So to say I'm going with the obvious, you're going with the conclusion you have drawn, and that's fine. You have a right to your opinion. But that's your conclusion that you have drawn. I personally, like I said, I am only going by what the police have said. And I'm not even, and what the parents have said. And you put the police and the parents together, and all we have are the facts that I just laid out to y'all. Now, all that other stuff is just extra. We don't even know where the information, like, where did the Red Roof Inn even come from? Does anybody know where that came from? Did somebody just make it up? Did somebody just come out here and say she was spotted at the Red Roof Inn and people ran with it? Like, we don't even know where that information came up with.
They did say that there was
Who was they?
The internet.
I can't go by the internet.
So okay, so there was
said that.
There was people in there who released a call that was the dispatcher for wherever, saying that they thought that she was in a room at a Red Roof Inn. But the thing is, you don't know if that was actually her. You just, because people call in bad tips all the time. People say things, or they think it may have been.
Somebody called into the dispatcher as a tip and said, we think we see her at the Red Roof Inn, and so now that's become part of the story.
And and they was like, the parents were notified, and the family was notified, and the family is now going to Red Roof Inns asking if they've seen this person. So some things are, like, people call in tips that aren't valid all the time.
I saw a story that said that she got pregnant by a 17-year-old and she was embarrassed, and so she did this as a way to cover it up. First of all, I have heard nothing else about that. That doesn't mean it's not true. I'm just saying I don't even know where that story came from. Second of all, her faking a kidnapping ain't gonna cover up the fact that she's already pregnant. Like, come on, people, we gotta make stuff make sense.
Well, I have a question, and this is equal to the people who don't know the story. No one has been able to answer me what their theory is as to what happened that makes them believe that this is fraudulent. Because just as there is no proof that she was kidnapped, no one has been able to come up with the theory or the scenario of how she committed the fraud or how they believe she committed. Because the timeline, as I know it, just isn't making sense to me. Now, if somebody can come up with some information to explain why they know so concretely that this is a hoax.
Well, I just read on USA Today that they have USA Today, which is a national newspaper, has a whole timeline from when she called 911 to now. According to their timeline, the police do not know details of where she was for the 48 hours she was missing. That is a fact that you can go ahead right now to USA Today and get. The police do not know where she was for 48 hours. They don't have no story to tell. And that's why when the cops put out their statement, it was so vague, because they don't know. We don't, everybody keeps saying she gave the police a statement, but what exactly does that mean? Did she give them details, or she told them, I don't remember, or I don't know? So we really don't know. So as of right now, we just don't know what happened, because no one has said. Until the police come on and say, hey, we're looking for this guy, these people, it's always going to be, well, what really happened? Because how do you get kidnapped and there's no description of a kidnapper? How do you get kidnapped and there's no be on the lookout for? We don't have the composite drawing, the sketch. We don't have nothing. So to me, and this has been 2 days now. She came back home Sunday. This is now Tuesday. So it's been 2 days and we still don't have no information. Why aren't the cops saying anything? I don't know.
To be fair, there have been cases. There have been famous true crime cases in which the person gave a description of a suspect that was completely false. So just having a suspect like the shaggy haired man or the anonymous black guy, and I kept waiting for her. In my mind, one of the questions I have, well, if it's a hoax, wouldn't she have made up a description by now? Because the gray car and the man beside the gray car is something that wasn't reported by that camp. It was reported by a quote unquote witness. So my only question is, if it is a hoax, how did she pull it off? What's your theory? Because the area where it is, they're saying there's no baby. I don't know how she saw a baby. I said, okay, how did she get away then? That's my question. Let's forget about the baby for a moment. How did she get away? Because she's right by the woods. You say it's a busy highway. No one saw her. I accept all of these things. My question is then, how did she get away? Since everyone is so convinced it's not true, and I'm not saying what I think, but everyone who is so convinced it's a hoax, how did she pull it off?
Time will tell.
Yeah.
We'll,
And you know
we'll
what?
get the
You know
story.
what, Corey, that is the perfect way to end this conversation. Time will tell. Because like I said and I say this to everybody, and I've said this multiple times, I reserve the right to change my mind when I get more information. Right now, I am choosing to believe that this young lady was traumatized. Do we have all of the facts? No. I can see that some of the information is a little questionable. But ultimately, I believe that something bad, for lack of a better word, I think something bad happened to this young lady. I just believe that. I just believe that. Um, and I mean, I don't want nothing bad to happen, but I just believe that something bad happened to this young lady. I want to thank everybody for coming up. Y'all know I don't drop my link often, but I want to thank
Thanks,
you guys
Really
for
B.
coming up. And everybody's opinion. Again, we can disagree respectfully. So I appreciate the respectful conversation. For those in the chat, thank you for being here. Hit that like button if you have not. I appreciate you. Or the dislike button if you ain't like what I had to say. Do I believe she was abducted? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Yeah.
I believe
I don't believe that she voluntarily left the scene. Now, how it happened, another conversation. Who did it? Don't know. But I do not believe that she voluntarily left. That is my opinion. And again, if somebody give me new information, and when I say somebody, I mean the police. Give me new information, then I will change my opinion. I ain't going by internet rumors, videos. Somebody said Facebook post, TikTok video. I ain't going by none of that. I ain't going by none of that.
I believe we should have a robbery anniversary party, but I'm just gonna leave that right
Tracy, we're
here.
not doing. Moving on. I'm probably going to come back in about. I'm probably gonna come back in about 2 hours to talk about the secrets of Playboy and the secrets of Miss America. I'm a blend it. I'm gonna do both at the same time. I'm gonna do both episodes at the same time. So we totally flipping, y'all. We totally changing. But I'll be back in about an hour and a half, I guess, to do the secrets of Playboy and the secrets of Miss America. Episode 2 came on last night. So I want to thank you guys for being here. I'm going to end it here.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
really.
Brittany. Thank you for being a new subscriber, and anybody else who chose to subscribe. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the tribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys around. Um, and again, and Mama Mia, I respect and I appreciate you participating in the conversation. We just disagree, and it's okay. I don't feel like anybody was disrespectful in their disagreement, and I don't feel like anybody was rude to me. So I appreciate that. Again, it would be a boring world if we all agreed on everything. So thank y'all for being here. For those who want to talk about what them people was doing down to the Miss America pageant and down to the Playboy. And meet me back here in about an hour and a half, child. And I'll talk to y'all later. Mwah. You were preparing some briefs. Oh, go on, Kia. Working hard, girl. Working hard. My people be working hard while they pretending like they at work.